It was the most beautiful machine ever built for the purpose of ending the world. It was white. It was massive, over 180 feet long, and it was fast. This bomber was designed to cruise at Mach 3, 3 times the speed of sound, at 70,000 feet. It was so fast that it could outrun the nuclear blast of the bombs it just dropped. But the most incredible thing wasn't its speed. It was how it flew. This plane didn't just cut through the air. It actually surfed on top of the sonic boom it created. It rode its own shockwave like a surfer riding a wave. Welcome to ShadowWorks. Today we open the file on the XB-70 Valkyrie, the 6-engine monster that proved the future doesn't always win. In the 1950s, the U.S. Air Force had a problem. They needed a bomber that could fly deep into the Soviet Union, drop a thermonuclear weapon, and escape before enemy interceptors could catch it. The B-52 was too slow. They needed a sprinter. North American Aviation came up with a design that looked like science fiction. To lift a 500,000-pound aircraft at Mach 3, standard wings wouldn't work. The drag would tear the plane apart. So the engineers used a phenomenon called compression lift. They designed the air intake to be a sharp wedge. As the plane hit supersonic speeds, this wedge created a massive shockwave. By folding the wingtips down 65 degrees, they trapped that high-pressure shockwave underneath the wings. The plane was literally pushed up by its own sonic boom. It was free lift. It was an engineering masterpiece. But it was doomed from the start. By the time the prototype flew in 1964, the world had changed. Soviet surface-to-air missiles, SAMs, had become too accurate. Flying high and fast was no longer safe. You had to fly low and slow to hide from radar. And then came the ICBMs. Why risk a pilot when a missile could do the job in 30 minutes? The XB-70 was obsolete before it even finished testing. But the Air Force kept flying it for research. Then came June 8, 1966. General Electric wanted a publicity photo of their engines. They arranged a formation flight with the XB-70 and several other jets. It was a perfect morning in the Mojave Desert. But during the photo shoot, an F-104 starfighter flew too close. It got caught in the massive vortex shed by the Valkyrie's wingtip. The fighter was sucked in. It flipped over, smashed across the top of the bomber, and sheared off the Valkyrie's vertical stabilizers. The massive white bird flew straight for a few seconds. And then it entered an uncontrollable flat spin. It crashed into the desert floor. The program never recovered. Today, only one XB-70 remains, sitting quietly in a museum in Dayton, Ohio. It is a ghost of a future that never happened. A time when we believed that the answer to every problem was simply to go faster. The Valkyrie was the peak of the speed era, but today the Air Force is building something new. Something that doesn't just rely on speed or stealth, but on artificial intelligence. Join us next time as we investigate the secret 6th-generation fighter program, NGAD. Click here to open the file on the fighter that flies with ghosts.